Welcome to our second ever live session with Campus Advisors. We're super excited about this. We had the last one was exactly a week back. We saw tremendous response. We got a lot of warm emails and Instagram messages. So thank you for those guys who sent us all of that. This time we have a few things that we want to discuss, and primarily the main topic of discussion today is going to be scholarships. So in our last session we said that guys, if you have any kind of queries, if you have any kind of preference in terms of what you want us to discuss, feel free to shoot us an email. So we got a lot of questions about scholarships. We picked up about 5 or 7 prime questions which were being asked repeatedly by a lot of students. So we're imagining that there'll be a lot of you guys here who have the same concerns. So let's kick that off, guys. This session is specific to Canadian education. And by the way, let me introduce myself. I always forget to do that. I'm Robin. These are that's Aman and Taman, and their names are not made up. They're actually Aman and Taman. So there's that. Okay, guys. The first question that we have is, what are the different types of scholarships available for undergrad and postgrad courses?
Yeah, so there's 3 types of scholarships, right? So first will be the entry-based scholarship. Secondly, the application-based scholarship, and third is the external scholarships. Right, so you want to talk about entry-based scholarship?
So basically, entry-based scholarships depends upon your admission, your requirements, your percentage, and your IELTS part, right? If you are fulfilling that requirements, and the university for example, a university have a requirement of 90% starting and 7 bands. If you are fulfilling that, you get your scholarship. And the second one is application-based scholarship. So application-based scholarship is basically for normally all the students. Once you apply, your scholarship will be mentioned on your offer letter itself. Once you get your offer letter. So, and there are some universities for which you have to apply the scholarship. You have to fill a separate form for scholarship, and you have to make an SOP also, statement of purpose, stating that why the university or college would give you the scholarship.
So the major difference between these 2 scholarships is the entry-based will be automatic. So you're applying to a college, you have a 90% overall score. The admissions team looks at the overall profile, and they're like, okay, it satisfies the requirement, we'll just give a scholarship of $2,000. And this scholarship comes in your offer letter, so your letter of admission. While the application based, you have to search it on your own, you have to fill in your own different application, you have to write an SOP usually around 300-500 words. It's not a hassle, but it's a hassle worth it, because the prices.
Who wouldn't want it?
Yeah. So,
but
exactly.
you said that you need, for in your example you said you need 90%. If you have 90% and then you get a scholarship option, I'm sure one of the major questions you're gonna get is, do I really need 90% to get a scholarship?
So for the most universities or colleges, 90% will be the higher cutoff for the maximum available scholarships. That range.
Because we also have a secret list of colleges who will give you scholarships below 90%.
Yes.
For that, you'll have to privately message us,
Exactly.
and we'll take out our secret sauce and tell you guys what it is. Okay, the next question we got this question 12 times. Okay, last time. So, what is the eligibility criteria of a scholarship? What do I need to have, or what makes me eligible to actually be able to apply for or naturally get a scholarship?
So it's a simple question. It's a simple answer. Eligibility is based upon your admission criteria. Grade 12, if you're going for an undergraduate program, your English proficiency requirements. So if you want an undergraduate or a bachelor's degree scholarship, you must get at least 90% for a good scholarship, right? At least if you want 50% scholarship, right? Some universities offer that. As we mentioned before, we do have a list, so you need to text us so that we can help you.
So to all those guys who spend a lot of time on social media, maybe this is the best time to start studying and actually aim for that 90% that you guys need to actually get a scholarship.
And for these, before I forget, that you have to apply for these scholarships way before students do it regularly. Because most of the scholarships are provided in the early decision times. So that's like a couple months before the regular decision when everyone starts applying. So you have to be a little quick.
So what that basically means is be on time, and Obviously, like guys, if you want anything, I won't get all philosophical about life here, which is one of my favorite things to do. But if you really want to get a head start, like you want to be able to get into the program of your choice, you want to get the scholarship of your choice, you want the specialization of your choice, it's very important to start making applications early, because once these programs start filling up, colleges don't provide as much flexibility in the options that they provide to you. Okay, now actually, how can I get a scholarship? Like, if let's say that I am eligible for a scholarship and my program is offering me one, what's the process to getting it?
So the entry-based scholarship, as I mentioned before, there is no specific requirements except the eligibility. You call us, sign up on our website and on our online portal, and select the college you want to go to. If you're a good student overall profile, apply to the college and automatically you'll get the scholarship.
So guys, if you like have a specific college in mind, or maybe like 2 or 3 options or 2 or 3 programs or institutes, and you want to see whether or not there's some scholarship options on that, log on to www.iapply.io, search for your desired institute, and you will find it listed in great detail. So it'll tell you the student strength, the scholarship options available, the tuition fee range, the types of programs offered, and whatnot. So it's www.iapply.io, guys. Okay.
So,
At this point, do we have some questions?
we have 2 questions
Okay.
by same person. I am radioactive. When is the right time to apply, and like what month should I apply for scholarships? So basically, it totally depends. Like if you're applying for Jan intake, for example, you have applied today for a particular intake, you have to apply right now only. If you are planning that you want to go, so this is the right time to apply. So yeah, when is the time exactly is basically whenever you want to apply for the intake, that is the only time to apply the scholarship itself. So exactly the information you want for the scholarship, you can call us or you can just message us on Instagram as well, for which college you want to apply, and for a specific college, if you want a specific college information that for this college what is the scholarship criteria, you can message us and we can revert you up for that.
Yeah. But like guys, this ties in very closely to what we discussed earlier, and that is that if you do want to apply for a scholarship, the sooner the better.
Yes.
So if your college of choice or if your program of choice is accepting applications, then the best time to apply for a scholarship is the minute they open their intakes, right? Followed by that now, obviously. So that's that.
So the best way is to use an example, I guess, right? So I'll take the example of University of Alberta,
Yeah.
and for an undergraduate student, or I mean a student who want to pursue an undergraduate degree. So the University of Alberta's deadline is around March 21st or March 31st for the September intake, which is the major intake. That's the deadline, that's the final day you'll accept any applications. So if you want to apply and get a good scholarship, what I'll suggest is October end. So that's what, like four months.
4 months, yeah.
That's when their scholarship deadlines also end. So it depends, of course, on different colleges and universities, but this should kind of give you an
Like
idea.
the idea is that there's no hard and fast rule as to when you should be applying for scholarship. It really depends on the college and the program that you're applying for.
Yeah.
Every college has a very different set of policies that it follows for its intake. So like for example, some colleges will take students 3 times a year, whereas some have rolling intakes, like a lot of colleges in Montreal actually,
Yes, exactly.
who accept students every 2 months. So it depends a lot on the college that you're applying to. So if you guys want more information on a specific college that you may have in mind, get in touch with us and we guys will help you out with it.
Yeah.
So next question is by the Jat Mast Malang. What documents
Oh,
are
did we have him last
Yes.
time as well? Okay,
Yes,
guys, awesome.
exactly.
So we have a fan here. I'm gonna go on limb here and say that you're a fan.
what documents are required to apply for admission in college after 12th? So basically after 12th, if you want to apply, you just need your 12th mark sheet, your 10th mark sheet, right, and your IELTS TRF and passport. These are the 4 main documents which is required to apply an application for college or university.
Let's hold on. This is actually a question that we got last time, so we have it written down as well. I was gonna discuss this next. Very important. Like, let's talk about the checklist once again so that everybody here has it clearly. If I want to apply for an undergrad program, be it a bachelor's degree or a UG diploma or a certificate, what exactly is the checklist of documents that I require?
See, for 12th, you need your 10th mark sheet.
Yeah.
Some college or university also ask for 11th mark sheet, right? Then 12th mark sheet is required, and like colleges, some colleges also university also ask for 12th admit card. So that will be also required. And if you are applying for bachelor's program, basically you need a statement of purpose for university itself. So SOP will be required. Your passport plus your IELTS TRF, the certificate. And if you are applying for conditional, obviously conditional offer letter, your online result will also work. And if you are like doing conditional, or you want to apply through Duolingo also, so your Duolingo online result and screenshot will work.
You said 10th score as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
10th.
So
10th
guys,
mark
just to be
sheet.
clear,
Yeah.
10th mark sheet, if you're applying for undergrad program, 10th mark sheet, 12th mark sheet, IELTS TRF, and you will need your passport.
Passport.
Yes, exactly.
Okay guys, these 4 things.
These are the main documents.
Do we have another question?
Yeah, we have. Is there a scholarship for PhD too?
So for PhDs, first of all, let me clear it out that when you go for a PhD, you don't have to pay any tuition fees. You get stipends, right? So for example, we have several tie-ups with universities that you'll be paid around $20,000 per annum, right? Just to go and study, do some research. But the catch for that is you already have to start talking with a professor, right? A professor of that university or in that specific department you want to go to, right? This is coming in my mouth, so I'll just take it out for a minute. So, as I was saying, for a PhD, you would have to first of all talk to the department head, and he will tell you all the guidelines and how much you need. I mean, what kind of a research you must have done in the past, and how much stipend will they be willing to offer you. So you don't have to pay anything. So everyone who goes and does a PhD is usually given a scholarship.
So the next question is by Akash Chopra. He's asking, what's the right time to apply for September 21 intake? So see, for September 21 intake, some colleges are already open, and if you want to apply, you can consult us right now also for September 2021 intake. And see, the next month, most probably the next month or next to next month, so applications will be open for almost all the colleges. Right now also the applications are open for September 2021 for some colleges like Bow Valley in Alberta. They have opened their like applications for September 2021, and they are closed for January also. So yes, if you want to apply for September 2021, you can consult us right now also for September.
That goes on for only the colleges. As I mentioned before, universities, and usually the deadline ends much before. So, for example, by March 2021, they'll close all the programs for even September 2021.
Yeah.
So the best time is right now for anything. Anything you do in life, the best time is right now.
Yeah.
Don't delay and just start your process right now.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
There are questions.
Okay. Fine. Let's go to the questions.
So the next question is by I Komal Preet. How much scholarship are colleges giving? You can give an idea, minimum or maximum.
Minimum 20%, maximum 50, maximum 65%
Of
the total
the
tuition.
tuition fees.
Yes, total
So
tuition
minimum of
fees.
20% up to a maximum of 65%
Yeah.
of your tuition fees.
Yes, exactly.
So if your tuition fees is $10,000, just putting a figure there, the minimum would be about $2,000. The maximum would be $6,500.
FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson University, we
Yeah.
have one of them universities. They offer up to 50% scholarship. So the total tuition fees is 25 grand, 25,000 Canadian dollars for 1 annum, for the 1 year, first year. So you'll pay around $12,000
Yeah.
if you have a score of at least
math. Not bad.
math major. By the way.
Okay.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I was a math major. So yes, so 12,500 for the first year, and if you continue with a good merit score, and you'll keep the same amount of scholarship for the coming year as well.
So the next question is by Karma Gurang 97. Is it eligible to apply for scholarship if I have got 76%?
76.
76%.
So as we mentioned before, that we have a secret list of universities and colleges that might be willing to give you a little scholarship on that score.
Yeah.
So just shoot us a message right now instead. In fact.
Yeah, shoot us a message on Instagram
Yeah.
and we'll get back to you. Right?
Yeah.
But guys, don't tell anybody about our secret list, right?
Exactly.
It's like top secret. We actually have a locker room here where we keep the list, and we have like 6 locks on it, so that nobody gets access to that list. Okay, guys, before we move on to the next question, there's just one quick thing I want to discuss. So we had a question about the basic requirements to study in Canada, the documents you need. We've also got a lot of questions with respect to what is the exact procedure to apply for programs of study in Canada. So do you guys want to discuss like the main process here, and then like I want to discuss how iApply comes into the picture as well.
So, see, if you want to apply, the first major step is to log in to create an account on iApply, which is www.iapply.io. You have to create an account, and once you create an account, you can select the programs on that particular.
No, like let's discuss like the basic. Like for example, like what's the process? So like I prepare my documents, right? Once I prepare my documents, I submit them. Like I use that to make an application, correct? Once I make an application, how long before I can accept an offer letter or like any kind of response from the university?
So basically, it totally depends upon the college itself, right? For
Yeah.
example, a college who has a like time duration for 4 weeks for the offer letter, excluding Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday.
which is typically 4 to 6 weeks. Right?
Yeah, which is 4 to 6
So
weeks.
so like let's say from the point I make an application, it would take 4 to 6 weeks to get an offer letter. That's assuming that I'm qualified for it. Once I get the offer letter, what's the next step?
So once you get your offer letter, you will just mail you your offer letter, right? And then we will basically assign you a visa advisor who will help you with the documentation, right? And what documents will be required for the filing, and will also help you out with the tuition drafts,
Yeah.
right? Tuition fees, basically. As like for most of the colleges, you have to create an account to pay the tuition fees. We'll help you out with the GIC also. We are providing you free GIC like GIC account opening. So GIC will be made by us. We'll also help you write the biometrics dates, like taking the dates from the embassy. And we'll also help you out with the medicals to take appointments from the doctor for medicals also. Yeah.
So like in a nutshell, guys, like you prepare your documents, you make an application. Once the application may takes 4 to 6 weeks to get an offer letter. Once again, only depends on whether or not you qualify for it. Once that happens, you pay your tuition fees. Once the tuition fees paid, then you apply for a visa and then you book your flight and off to Canada. Now, I want to discuss how does iApply come into the picture. So like typically, a lot of people have issues. Like making their applications in terms of figuring out what their eligibility is and like actually doing the application, doing the follow-up, paying the tuition fee themselves, which is where a lot of consultancies and agencies come into the picture, which is where us as Can-Am, we've been around for 25 years and we're the largest overseas education consultancy in India. This is where we come into the picture, but iApply is a portal for those people who are unable to commute to our offices or who are unable to go to any other office. Maybe like you live 2 or 3 hours away. Maybe like you're in Bangalore. Bangalore's got like the worst traffic I've ever seen in my life, right? So in a place like that, you don't want to commute. You want to be able to do something over the phone. So over the last 2 or 3 years, we as Can-Am, we've invested a lot in technology to develop this platform called iApply. You guys merely have to sign up. Sign up and registration is absolutely free of cost. Once you do that, you build your profile. So what that means is you tell the software what your highest qualification is, have you taken your IELTS exam or not, if you've taken your IELTS, what your score is, if not, how much you're expecting to get. And likewise, like put in your passport details. Based on your profile, the software will recommend programs to you. You can search and narrow down through the 10,000 programs on iApply using a lot of different features. And obviously, like iApply is powered by artificial intelligence plus also a team of expert academic counselors, which is us people, right? So we're just the 3 people sitting here, but like we're a team of over 25 counselors all across India. And we are just a phone call away. So like in case you guys feel stuck at any point in time, you guys feel like, okay, maybe I don't know if this is the best program for me. You guys want any kind of details, we are always there, just a phone call away. We will process your application. You guys will be able to submit all your documents and make the application using iApply. And further than that, you guys can also track your application, like what stage of the process it's on, using the application as well. So pretty much it's a consultancy on your phone, right? You guys don't have to do anything. You just have to log on. You'll get a phone call from us. The programs will be recommended. You guys will be able to make an application. All of that sitting from home.
And that's also for free of cost.
And it's absolutely free of cost. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Free of cost. www.iapply.io, guys. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to get back to some questions or?
Yeah. Will I get scholarship for MBA? So it's failure underscore stories underscore 20.
Okay, so for MBA, so most universities will not offer entrance-based scholarships for the master's program. At the moment, we have University of Manitoba that is giving an MBA student who has a recent qualifications overall percentage of at least 3.5 CGPA out of a 4, right, or equivalent to the Indian standards. They will be giving at least $4,000 of entrance level scholarships. And if you keep going on, if you keep scoring well, you'll of course you'll get more scholarships once you reach there, right?
So we have next question. Jat Mastmalan have asked how we can apply for CAQ and how much time take all of process.
So for CAQ, the CAQ fees is around $115, Canadian dollars to be precise. So what happens for the CAQ, the documents required for the CAQ will
Okay,
be...
guys, first let me stop. For those watching who don't know what a CAQ is, okay, CAQ is a special document that you require alongside your visa only for Quebec. Okay,
Yeah.
it's only for Quebec, no, not for any other province in Canada, just for Quebec only.
So it's known as CAQ, it's in French, but if you go it convert it in English, it will be QAC, Quebec Acceptance Certificate. That's
So that's how the translation works. If you want to convert French to English, you just have to say it the other way around.
exactly.
Not just kidding, like, but I guess
Anyway, so the documents required will be all the eligibility documents, 10th, 12th, passport, all the basic documents. The only addition to this will be the offer letter or the offer letter of admission which you have got from any college with a DLI number in Quebec, right? So with that you can apply with 115 Canadian dollars, and once you're done with that, it takes around 30 to 45 days on the max side to get the CAQ approved.
So the next question is by Coacher Cool. I have done my graduation back in 2017 with 1 year gap in between with CGPA 5.39. What are the chances of my getting visa? So see, you have 5.39 CGPA, right? We have cases with, you can say with 47% also who got their visas after graduation, and gap is not an issue if you can justify your gap, basically. Right, and yeah, you are eligible. There is like full chances. You just have to pursue with your English test, the IELTS test, and plus Duolingo test. In case if you don't want to give IELTS for the admission purpose right now, you can also give the Duolingo for that. So yes, you are eligible. Next is Zoya.Khan. I am in class 11. So when should I look for scholarships? I am in class 11. So when should I look for scholarships?
As I mentioned 10 minutes ago, start looking today.
Yeah.
Right, so you're in grade 11th at the moment.
Yeah.
Start first of all, finalize the university you want to go to. So whenever you're looking for a scholarship, the first and the foremost thing is to finalize the university you want to go to. Because I know money is a big issue, but you have to know which place you are going to and which course you want to go to. Because for example, King's University, they offer different amount of scholarships to different streams. So for a Bachelor's of Arts, you'll get around $4,500 per annum for the tuition fee. But if you're going for a Bachelor's of Science degree, you'll get $1,000 less scholarship. So it all depends on different universities. The first step is to find out which university you want to go to, and of course connect with us, and we'll help you out further.
So there is a question by IamKomal.Preet, and this question is asked by almost all the students, like how much gap is acceptable for Canada. So basically it depends, like if you're a 12th class student, if you have more than 1 year of educational gap, you have to give justification, right, what you are doing and if, what is particular, like for example, if you are 2018 pass out, now it is 2020, might be you are doing any vocational courses, might be you have done any particular diploma, so you have to give the justification. Otherwise, maximum 1 year gap is like acceptable without explanation, right?
Hey guys, I just want to break in. Like we've got just one of the 5 minutes. There were a few questions that we had the last time that we wanted to discuss, but like from what we can see, we've got a lot of questions coming in. So I guess we'll just spend the next 5 minutes discussing questions. So guys, like whatever questions you have, please like send them ASAP. We're only here for another 5 minutes.
Yeah. The next question is whether we it's by failure underscore stories. Whether we want experience certificate for MBA in Canada.
Yes, of course, most universities would either require you to have at least 2 years of experience or a GMAT score.
Yeah. So Yeah, next question is for the deferment by Gagan. Like, hello, please tell me what should I do? I do online or deferment for September intake? Should I go for online classes or deferment?
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
This is a good question. This is a good question, and honestly, it's a personal choice. You know, it's a personal choice whether or not you want to take online classes or not. See, we have been recommending online courses because from where we stand, I think it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because besides the tuition fees that you pay, right? It's expensive to live in Canada. Like it's not as cheap as India. Like the living cost is a lot higher. You guys are paying rents over there, which is in dollars. Every single grocery item that you buy is in dollars. So it's a lot cheaper for a person to actually live in India while completing part of their education online. The benefit is that the Canadian government recently came up with a few policies such that even the duration spent here is going to count towards your work permit later, right? So what we suggest is like what I would do or like what any of us would do is like we would start our course online only because I know that whenever like 4 or 5 or 6 months down the line or maybe like 8 months down the line when flights start and I go back to Canada, I will still get my PR, right? I will still get my work permit. I will still be able to finish my undergraduation or my post-graduation. I'll still be able to work for 3 years after that. But I would have saved thousands of dollars in cost for those 6 or 8 months that I completed my degree in India. So the way I see it, if you're a math person like this guy is, if you're a math person, if you want to save some money, I think the best thing to do is start your education online and move to Canada later.
Yeah.
So, next question is by Chandan underscore Mehan 2415. He asked, are Canada flights started?
Okay, good question. So we had a discussion yesterday. Canada flights have started, but in a very limited fashion. So what's happening these days is that we have air bubbles between countries. So countries are agreeing. Countries have to mutually agree to allow each other's citizens or passengers commute to and fro. Canada and India recently started. I think just yesterday it came out in the news that Canada has started air bubbles. But again, even though travel has started, this does not mean that there's no restrictions involved here. It doesn't mean that I can hop on a flight and go to Canada. No, there is still a lot of process involved. You'll have to get a permission from the Canadian consulate or the Canadian immigration center that okay, this is when I want to travel. But the point is, if you have a valid study visa, the way it looks like right now, there's still more clarity that we're waiting from Canadian authorities. But the way it looks like right now, if you do have a valid Canadian study permit, you should be able to travel right now to Canada, at least since starting yesterday.
And if it is required for you to be required to be in person in the university or the college or the university will send you a travel support letter that will mention that your presence is required.
Yeah. So that's a supporting document that can help you get the permission or the grant that you need to actually travel to Canada.
Yeah.
But all in all, it looks good on that front, even though right now I won't say that travel is absolutely free-flowing. I think that's where we headed over the course of the next 1 or 2 months. We've come a long way from where we were 2 or 3 months back. And now international flights have started. We finally have an air bubble with Canada. I think things are looking good now in the future.
Yeah, so his question exactly was like he don't have AIP right now, he didn't get his visa, so he is saying that I have applied for college and I can start the online classes. So see, if you are taking classes without getting AIP, you will be you won't be eligible for the PGWP, you won't be eligible for the work permit. So you should start your online classes after you get your AIP.
No, just to cut that, so just today I read an email in fact from the IRCC, the links we have. So as long as you apply for the AIP before your classes start online, you are eligible for the PGWP, right?
Yeah.
As long as of course you get the AIP in the end, right? So if for example, so usually the date is September 15th, right? So if any date before that date you apply for the AIP, you are just even applying, you will be eligible to start the online class.
Okay, so what that means is that if your AIP has not, approval in principle has not come in yet, and you do start your course online, when the approval in principle does actually come, these months that you spend doing your online course will count towards your work permit.
Exactly.
So next question is by Bhumi Chauhan. She's asking after IELTS exam when I should apply for scholarship.
If you have done your IELTS exam, give us a call today.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Send us a message on Instagram with your
That's
name,
better,
with
yes.
your name, your phone number, and your IELTS score, and one of us three will get in touch with you today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So next is Manu_Gill. She has asked, hello, what's the deadline to apply for January intake? For January intake, see, in the previous session also we have told you that most of the colleges are closed for January. You are asking for January 2021 and it is already closed. So if you want to apply today itself,
Yes.
please contact us, message us with your details, and we can help you out with the applications for
There's no
January.
guarantee because Jan
Exactly.
2021 intakes are filled up really fast. There's no guarantee there will still be seats available in the program of your choice, but I think it's still at least worth a try. So like I would say, get in touch with us
The
ASAP.
major reason is all the students have been deferred from May and September to January, so there is no new student, no
Exactly.
seats.
Yeah.
So as I said, mentioned before, apply today.
So next question is by Viral_Jaiswal. He is asking, I passed out in 2018. I have 2 years of work experience. So what documents do I need to show to prove my experience? So see, if you have 2 years of work experience, you can show your experience letter, your offer letter, right? Your last salary slips for your recent company. So these are the documents which will be required for the work experience thing. So yeah, we are like done with the
Okay.
questions.
Okay, so guys, it's actually like we were 5 minutes over our schedule. We actually have a busy day here in the office. But thanks so much for joining us for this live session, guys. This was our the second episode. Let's call it that way. We were thinking about like maybe we can start like a series on it and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're still finalizing on a name for this series. If you guys have some suggestions, we have campus advisors for now. If you guys have some suggestions, like feel free to let us know. Any questions with respect to what we discussed today, scholarships or anything else, feel free to shoot us an email, give us a call, or send us an Instagram message. And we'll be back live again next week. Same time, August, I don't know, don't want to do the math, but if it's 18, then it's 25th. August 25th, same time, and that's pretty much it. Right, guys?
Yeah, I just want to share the contact number basically where you can call. If you don't want to message, you can directly call us on 1800-890-1775.
Yeah.
You can contact us on this helpline number also. We will be available on this number.
Yeah, or guys, you can also log on to www.iapply.io, sign up. If you guys sign up, which is absolutely free of cost, you will automatically get a call from us.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the first thing that I would recommend rather than giving us a call on toll-free number. Sign up on www.iapply.io, absolutely free of cost. Browse to the 10,000 different programs that we have. Search for the scholarships available. We have filters for scholarships as well. And get a call from us within 1 or 2 days upon signing up. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Well, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you all next week. Yeah?
Thanks.
Stay safe.
Thanks.